Hi, and welcome back to Three and Out with Chris Spielman, brought to you again by Comerica. I'm Mike O'Hara, and Chris Spielman, what a game at Lambeau Field Monday night. What a national reaction, outrage almost, to the officiating. 23-22 win by the Green Bay Packers on a field goal on the last play of the game. Look, you've called these games forever. You played in the National Football League. What do you make of all the talk about the officiating? And it seems like the country is taking the Detroit Lions side and thinking that the officials cost them the game.
Well, I mean, it's tough breaks. I did a Falcons-Cardinals game. There were a ton of calls that probably could have not gone against the Falcons that did. But hey, I mean, there's mistakes made, obviously, when you look at it. I thought the interception with the head, leading with the head, playing the football was a tough call, tough one to swallow. The head neck area, the hands to the face. I mean, those are judgment calls, and sometimes guys call what they see, and they don't see what I thought Trey Flowers had a good saying is that I didn't hit him in the head or neck. I did my technique and the hands to the chest. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But the bigger issue to me, Mike, is you got the ball inside the 10-yard line twice and you come away with 2 field goals. You're 5 for 5 on field goals in the game. When you're playing the division leader and you got a chance to close out, you have to be able to close out. And I thought Matthew Stafford said it best. You have to close out with touchdowns. You can't keep kicking field goals against the Green Bay Packers. It's not going to get it done.
All right, Chris Spielman, this game starts on a high note for the Detroit Lions. First offensive play, a flea flicker, 66-yard completion to Kenny Golladay. Break it down. Tell us what you see. Go 3 and out.
Well, I think Bevel does a great job here because I know as a defender that I'm always being super aggressive on the first play. So you come out with the play action. The offensive line does a good job of making it stout, allowing that time to develop. And because their protection is so good, it allows Kenny Golladay, who can run, who had 9 targets and 5 catches for 126 yards, becoming Matthew Stafford's go-to guy. It was a great setup and a great call because, again, the aggressiveness on the defense on the first play of the game, and look at this blue wall that's being built across the line, allowing Matthew Stafford to get the pitch back, to survey the field. And because of the protection, it allows this deep route to be run with efficiency. And you give Stafford that wide open of a wide receiver down the field, he won't miss. I just like to see Golladay be able to finish that off just a tad, as opposed to maybe getting tripped up from behind. But hey, great way to start.
Unfortunately, though, they settled for a field goal after having
Yeah.
1st and 10 at the 11. And by the way, you said blue wall. That sounds very strange at Lambeau,
Yeah.
that the visiting team's wearing blue. All right, listen, we're going to move along to the fourth quarter. Look, the Detroit Lions are never behind in this game until the final field goal by the Packers. But here in the fourth quarter, and the Packers are driving, they've got 3rd and 7 at the 12-yard line. A pass into the end zone, or just to the front of the end zone by Aaron Rodgers. Break it down. Tell us what you see on this interception by Justin Coleman.
Well, I mean, the guy's open, right? Shepard's open, and bad things happen when wide receivers and defensive backs lose their feet. They're great athletes. You can't slip on this play, and you're going to see Shepard come outside right here. Justin Coleman is working, never quits on the play because of the lost footing. The pass is well thrown, but Justin Coleman is there breaking on the football and makes a great play. He also had 3 PBUs in this game, so he certainly played well. And what I like is the ability to return the kick. So you take a potential touchdown off the board for the Packers, and you're able to get a field goal off of a great play by Justin Coleman. And so when another team makes a mistake, Mike, and another player makes a mistake, good teams capitalize on that mistake, and that's exactly what Justin Coleman did on that play.
Now we move along further into the fourth quarter, and the Detroit Lions still have the lead, 9 points, 2 possessions, 22-13. But here's a play, 3rd and 5 at the 35. Alan Lazard, all 4 of his catches this year were in this game. Break it down. Tell us what you see on this touchdown catch.
Well, first of all, Lazard, a kid from Iowa State, I was reading an article this morning how, Aaron Rodgers was campaigning for Lazard to get into the ball game. So Aaron Rodgers trusts him. They actually sit together in meetings. This is a double move. The coverage is really good, and the coverage is outstanding. But here's the problem, and this is not just on Justin Coleman, because I can't ask the guy to play it any better. The problem is when you have an incredible throw, that beats tight coverage every single time, and the strong arms of Lazard and the field awareness. And you run it back there, guys, real quick, because I want to show you something. Watch how Lazard, after he catches this ball, twist his body away so Coleman can't get his hands in there. He's going to catch it and watch him turn his body to protect that football. That's just a veteran play by a young player that's getting an opportunity to make plays. But the throw was incredible. The coverage was good. Incredible throws beat good coverage, unfortunately, for the Lions.
And that makes it 22-20, and there's one more score, and this is the play that sets it up. 3rd and 4 at the 16. What do you say? Once again, I'm speechless. I feel like I'm talking to you after one of those tough losses.
Yeah, exactly.
But here comes Trey Flowers. He'd gotten a hands-to-the-face penalty on the previous possession on the 3rd down. There was a sack. Break it down. Tell us what you see. Good call, bad call, no call, exasperated.
So we see this all the time, right? So Trey Flowers just had a hands to the face, so he's going to be extra careful of not getting to the hands to the face. What we'd like to see is what Trey has taught, and he said this about his technique, is you put that hand in the chest of the guy, and I think the hand is in the chest. Now, the rule is, from how I understand it, is that you can't throw it into the neck and head area, but it looks like that left hand is on the shoulder pad, and I'm going to tell you this. And, I think the Green Bay Packer offensive lineman sells it. I really do. I think he throws his head back. And by him throwing his head back, I think he's drawing that foul because that hand is on the chest. It's not in the face or even on the neck. So I probably think, Mike, if the official could have one back, we always talk about players having one back. I would think on this one that he would want that play back because that is his hand is connected to the shoulder pad, and I really think that the offensive player sold that like he was being punched in the head or neck area. So if I have to say, I would evaluate that as a bad call in a tough break. But you know what? I thought both Matt Patricia and Matthew Stafford said it best. I mean, you hate to see that happen, but it does happen, right? We all live in that reality that bad calls happen. And I think the more frustrating thing for those two guys, at least for me as a player, yeah, the officials were bad. We got jobbed on a couple calls, but to me, you got to get touchdowns against good teams, especially when you're inside the 10-yard line twice. You got to get touchdowns, and they didn't get touchdowns. And the other thing, and they better get better for next week, and is that you're giving up 170 on the ground, and you're getting I think the number 1 or number 2 rushing team in the NFL coming next week with the Minnesota Vikings, who also, by the way, has all of a sudden found a passing game.
Well, that'll be a tough one to go. Chris Spielman, that's a wrap for this week. That's 3 and Out. We'll be back next week after the Lions and Vikings at Ford Field.